Hey, so it's 13 of April 2016. Uh, I'm just making this video to show a little bit about what happened today. This is a long series of events. I'm just gonna give this video will just give like a short summary of the events that started on Saturday and ended up till yesterday morning, which is Tuesday. And this here, the time, if you look at the time, it should be at the end of the video. But this is just like a little because I've done this after I made the video. This is just like a little intro. So this morning I woke up and, or on Tuesday, yesterday, I woke up and went out to the car and saw some writing on the hood. So somebody had put marks on the hood, and this has happened before, and this has happened since I moved here. And this is a retaliation to what happened in the previous days from Saturday to Monday. So here's the image of the thing, and I'll show it again at the end of the video. And what follows is it'll be a summary of the events that took place on Saturday all the way through to yesterday, Tuesday. So I hope you're gonna have a good day, and yeah, take care of yourself, and seriously, take a couple days off Sunday. Stay home with your family for a few days and see how it goes. I'm shocked and surprised at the amount of crimes and wickedness that I've seen in this church organization. And these people are Bible college students, and they're supposed to be leaders of the future community. I encourage you to look at these people that you go to church with and see if they really are who they are, and see if that's who you really want to be with. Remember, who you choose for friends influence who you are as a person. So have a good day. Here's the picture. Hey, Chris here in Sydney, Australia, New South Wales, in our little unit here, in a building owned by Anglicans in New South Wales, in this little unit that we're renting, which the Anglicans want to own. So the property whores that they are. So yeah, so I was talking yesterday about Anglicans and how they use situations to manipulate perception, and how they use events, and they kind of manipulate events and create social atmosphere in events, engineer it so that they can cover up their activities, provide back noise, white noise, distraction, deniability, deflection, and other terrorist, psycho, I don't know, psychological warfare techniques, to cover up their crimes, and promote their own agenda. So yesterday another thing happened, and it was there was a long line of events that started on Saturday, and it was Saturday. A comment was made, aggression was attempted to or pursued. Nine Toes Stinkbog tried to get me to engage in aggressive behavior, which he would take back to the Anglicans and then use against me. And then the next day, to cover that up, there was, or to utilize that, because every time there's a chink in the armor, the Anglicans scratch at it and they try to get a better effect. So assuming that I was going to respond and bite, assuming that I was in a weak state of mind or angry, of course they're monitoring the videos and they see what I'm talking about. They would assume that if they pressured me some more, if they provided more opportunity, I might create, I might comment, what the hell are you guys doing? Leave me alone. Stop harassing me. And then I would look like a fruit bag, like a nut bag, and then they could say that, yeah, you are unstable, you are questionable, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, I talk about that in another video. And then the whole scenario ended up in my favor, I think, because it allowed me an opportunity to make a comment about Games Foolfully and to comment about his computer crimes, which I said loudly. And that was, the comment was intended to be for another neighbor who's watching and supporting Games Foolfully. It's like a joke here. It's like they think they're in some kind of fantasy, fantasy Christian league, and it's like whoever can connive and conspire the best is the game winner. So, anyways, my comment was made for Snarker, for Snaker. He's worked in a cathedral, so apparent in Wollongong, unless it's the wrong person that I'm thinking of. I'm pretty sure I'm correct, and regardless, he's a student here, and he is set up in the unit beside me. So obviously, he's connected somehow because everyone here has a purpose in this building. The property manager has placed everyone here according to their skills. Like, for example, they want this unit, and they put an expert computer attacker right next to me. And the purpose is to screw with our computers and screw with our machines, harass us, and then instigate us in other ways as well, so that we've just had enough and then we leave. The intent, of course, as I've always said, is because they want the unit, and they've always wanted the unit. They want to purchase this whole building eventually. And this is the unit that is the weakest right now. So attack the weakest link, right? That's so. So in response to that, there was two choices Snarker or Snaker could have made. He could have, what the heck did Chris mean about the comment, Foolfully, about the computer comment? I've not heard any of this. What's going on? Or he could have said, oh yeah, whatever. I know all about that, and I support him. So what was the response? Well, they had a game of circle balls, Anglican circle balls, and they all stood around in a circle, and they bounced this ball between them. Great, but it shows solidarity with Foolfully because Foolfully was playing with them, and of course, coincidentally, all the people that have supported Foolfully, for example, one guy that was playing in the unit just down from Foolfully walked back and forth and provided footage for Foolfully when Foolfully was deleting footage on the NVR, air-gapped NVR. It wasn't connected to a network, and it never has been. Deleting footage from an air-gapped NVR. That's government technology. That's secret technology. Do you know anybody who can do that? I don't. So, and there was other, and this guy also knows Dos Vile, who is a friend of Foolfully's and was a student minister at the same church that Premier Baird goes to. What's Premier Baird got to it? Well, Premier Baird is pushing like this cyber crime and techno startups, and so he makes a lot of money, or he wants to make a lot of money off of Games Foolfully's skills that were taught to Games Foolfully. So, so they had a game showing their solidarity, showing and displaying that, yeah, we're together and we stick together, and screw you. Nobody's going to listen to what you're saying. Nobody's going to help you. You are stuffed, man. We're going to do whatever we want to do, and we run the country, and we have influence in the government. We have lots and lots of rich friends, and we're very, very rich. Oh, don't forget that Thomas More, the guy who originally gave money to the Moore Theological Bible College, was one of the original founders for Westpac Bank, which is a huge bank in Australia. So, I mean, these people are really rich. And you want to look at another name, Vanda Gould is another Anglican that got away with sending money offshore. So with all these Panama Papers, look up the name Vanda, V-A-N-D-A, Gould, G-O-U-L-D. And there was a big 7-year investigation of him and a whole bunch of clients that he had. And like, I think altogether, Vanda Gould was charged with $30 million in offshore accounts. Altogether, it was 300 with all his clients, 300 million in offshore accounts and hidden tax money from the government. And this is Vanda Gould, who's given tons of money to Moore Theological Bible College. someone probably outside. That bird always squawks when somebody walks outside, so somebody's probably walking outside getting ready to go to work, and coincidentally will be able to hear me talking because the walls are so thin. It's like a tent. So, anyways, they had their game of Anglican handballs to show their solidarity, and then I made a video about it. So, of course, they're going to respond to that. I made a video saying that Snarker was showing his solidarity with Games Fulfy, who was playing. And Games Fulfy is a lazy git. He never takes. He doesn't like engaging in physical activity. So Games Fulfy was playing too. So it was all just staged and loud, boisterous laughter right outside my window, just to say, yeah, we're a team, and forget about it. Just quit talking. Nobody's listening to you. So I made a video about it, and I said just that, and to respond to the video and to respond to what I had said, because they monitor my phones, or they monitor my computer activity. So to respond to that, then the next day, which was yesterday, they got together and had another game, but it was with different people, and Snarker played handball with 3 other guys. And just to show that, oh yeah, it was just coincidental that Fulfy and all his buddies were playing with us. So it's like being back in kindergarten again, and you've got all these games of politics and all these ridiculous childish political games. Only these people are more dangerous, and they cause more harm, and they're more malicious. Also, yesterday, which is what this video is really about, I woke up and I went outside, and there was just marks on my car door hood, and this has been happening on the hood of the car, the front hood for the engine, and this is these marks and scratches, and things have been happening since I've moved here. Every time I do something that they don't like, I commented on Snarker, and I commented on the little setup they had in the parking lot. And I said to Nine Toes, I made sure Nine Toes Stinkbog knew that I don't see him as a superior, that he's not, I'm not afraid of him. So what happened? A couple days later, there's marks on the hood of my car. And I know it was done from here, because only people here know that I have to disengage my battery in my car. So they put marks on the hood because they knew that when I open the hood next time to set my car up, then they're going to then I'm going to see it. So there were marks on the door, on the hood, definitely set up to show what what they were up to. Hey, yeah, so I was just putting the video together, and I looked at the pictures. I was gonna edit the video together, and I was looking at the pictures, and I noticed that it looks a lot like 3 strikes. That saying, like 3 strikes you're out, and that's like an intimidation, absolutely, because they've been trying since I moved here to manipulate me, to influence or to agitate me, to instigate me into behavior that they can call negative, and I've said it over and over and over, behavior that they can that they can then use against me and say that I'm not a welcome member to the community, when in fact, since the very beginning, it's the absolute opposite. They have been aggressive towards us, and they have been hostile and committed harassment against us. They've broken our computers, they've broken into our unit, they've constantly monitored our computers, and it goes on and on and on and on. So you see, this is what they do. They intimidate, and they're cowardly, and they do it behind the scenes. And whoever's making these marks, and they've made these marks on my car since the very beginning, nobody sees them. But if I leave the unit, or if I go downtown, or if I get in my car, there's an Anglican in a window that stands in a window and watches me every single time I pass his unit. Almost, he's in that window staring at me, And who is he? He's a friend of Foolflea's. And Foolflea, or whoever is in Foolflea playing piano, teaches his kid piano. So they're all friends. Of course they're going to back each other up. They play circle balls together. So it's intimidation and it's harassment, and it's intended to um, intimidate and to put fear in people so that they can get their way. They committed crimes. I caught them, and they're panicky, and now I'm talking about it. So now they're trying to create a myth, and it's just like Thomas Cromwell, creating a myth out of nothing, and trying to get their way and trying to pursue their own agenda. 3 strikes, you're out. That's what they're trying to say.